we've endorsed JP, right? J.D. Mandel.
Uh-oh. Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes.
Uh-oh.
I love mangoes too.
99 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99.
That seems like a pretty good deal. A bag of mangoes? Aren't mangoes like $3 each? That's it. I want what, $8 or $11. That sounds good.
The American people will lie. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Bring my mangoes back down. My bag of mangoes. My bag of mangoes.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down. Raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Bring my mangoes back down.
The Wisconsin crowd identified with the mangoes too.
Disproportionately affected the American people. Those who want me to be healthy, healthy. Those who want me to be healthy. It's highway robbery is what you're doing. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit.
Mangoes?
Look at that. 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 That is freaking predator right there.
What?
Who thinks he's smarter than you?
What?
Who thinks he's smarter than you?
What?
Who thinks he's smarter than you? This is just Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. This is just look at that. This is just look at that. This is just look at that. This is just look at that.
Alex Jones is lying to you. That might come as a shock.
Pac-Man.
What?
Pac-Man.
What?
Pac-Man. This is just Jones has fake callers. Jones has fake callers. Jones has fake callers. Jones has fake callers. This is corporate takeover, censorship, debanking, arrest, tyranny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Corporate takeover, censorship, debanking, arrest, tyranny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Corporate takeover, censorship, debanking, arrest, tyranny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Corporate takeover, censorship, debanking, arrest, tyranny. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. And he's a disgrace. And he's a disgrace. And he's a disgrace. And he's a disgrace. Look at that. 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 Look at that.
All right, welcome everybody. I would keep playing clips, except it's just come to my attention that Dr. Jordan B. Peterson is apparently not happy with me. Should we look at, I'm not even sure. Let me see. Jordan B. Peterson, Twitter. I guess he flipped out at me on Twitter. Let's see if I can find it here. We're in a break, by the way, so we're not missing anything. Let's see. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Whoa, QR code out of nowhere. Picture of a woman. 15 minutes ago. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I did a clip where Jordan Peterson was weeping over climate activism. And he says, in quoting the clip, I was speaking of the unacceptable demoralization of young people. I've seen it all over the world. And this cynical dismissal is all you can muster? How utterly pathetic, D. Pacman. How do you think endless apocalyptic catastrophizing affects children? And then he went on to say, and congratulations on capturing an audience motivated to spew so consistently the corrosive and personal vitriol that makes up the comments on this video clip. A likely epitaph for you, eaten by his own children. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, man. Do I dare look at the comments in response to him? Like, do we even want to open up that door? Yeah, he used to teach in Toronto. We should look. All right, let's see. So here's my comment, yikes, which, by the way, let's brigade this comment. Please brigade my yikes response. Leading into a lecture by question, they are being conditioned to be more easily. Oh, they seem like, I hate to borrow a term from the right, but they seem to be, his followers seem to be NPCs. The trigonometry guys did a great job of humorously exposing his tendency towards deception and malfeasance. Gaining fame off your coattails. David once had a person openly calling for violence on his podcast. I mean, I've had lots of Trumpists calling for it. I don't know what this person's referring to. He also posted the cop killer Mumia Abu Jamal's weekly message from jail. I think that was our affiliates. I don't recall ever doing that. Cope harder. Endless apocalypse. It's weird. It doesn't even seem like his followers care that much. Pacman's a dim bulb. All right, man. Whatever. A lot of really weird comments here. David Pacman is, oh, here we go. Here's a response. Here's a thinking man's response to Jordan B. Peterson. David Pacman is a Jew. They have the same Bavli, Yerushalmi substratum of thought and reasoning. It changes to blend in with the time and place, but its essence is always the same. We have had experience with his ilk for more than 1,400 years. Wow. There's some serious anti-Semitism here in the followers of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Some people who I've muted are responding, not surprisingly. Oh, man. All right, well, there's Dr. Jordan B. Peterson attacking me. Oh, wow. Okay, so it looks like my viewers are brigading my yikes. We got a Sir Yikes. Invite him on. He's welcome anytime. He's the one who's not responded to our invitations. All right. Well, so that's something, I guess, for the day. Jordan Peterson isn't pleased with me. What else do we have here? I want to say thanks to Kevin Gouldy for gifting a subscription on my website. That's number one. Oh, God. Somehow I got into help with Windows Notepad. That was bizarre. Hold on. Number one. There it is. Number one. And I'm going to give that membership away to Alicia Crawford. If you want a free membership, we have, thanks to hundreds of gifts being dumped in. There's only 489 people ahead of you right now. It's been a while since we've been below 500. You can request a free membership at davidpacman.com/free membership. Do not email me. If you email me about a free membership, it'll go in the trash. There's only one way. Let's look at some super chats here. David, sir, did you see John Fetterman is in the hospital after a stroke? Also, fringe candidate Kathy Barnett is shot up in the polls. Yes, all of that on today's bonus show.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money. Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
You should tell Jordan Peterson's followers, JP, right? JD Mandel, and don't say anything else and leave them confused. Oh, that's kind of funny. I'm not going to do that right now, but that could be a funny idea. We're in a break right now. Amber Heard is testifying. Did anybody see whether the cross-examination starts after this break, or is it still the direct examination? I missed it because I was playing songs and looking at Jordan B. Peterson's tweets with you. Is the testimony over and we're going to cross? Because if so, I would want to make some updates. Still direct, and then the next person says yes after the break. Huh. So it's not clear people are in agreement right now. Thanks to Gingerdale, Trisha Northstar, Fungus Wungus, Jen here, and Agent 71 for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. That's 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. I know we haven't seen cross-examination yet. My question was whether it will start after this break. Okay, we'll wait and see. I want to play one clip for you. Our good friend Walter Masterson was at the anti-choice rally. They call themselves pro-life in D.C., and he just was trolling the so-called pro-lifers. Check this out.
Oh, my God. Yes. I want to get a picture. Oh, my God. These are like, I love them. They're the best fascists you'll ever see. They're like the best. When does life begin? When does life? Life begins at ejaculation.
No, life begins at erection.
Life begins at erection. Life begins at erection.
So when do we get
Wait, here, tell them when life begins.
When do we get rights?
Life begins when you first find a letter from your true love in the 6th grade and you think, maybe she is the one. And you may never actually touch this woman, but a life has begun in your heart. And we have to protect that life.
When does life begin? Going on between your ears?
Life,
when do rights begin? When do we get rights?
Life, yes.
Yeah, when do we get rights?
This man right here, he is
When
right.
do we get rights?
He is. Straight white Christian men are the most oppressed people in America. Oh my God, if you see a straight white man, please give them a hug. Please just give them a nice, hearty
So when
hug.
do we get rights?
What?
When do we get rights?
Yes, that is a great question.
Yeah,
when
you don't know.
do straight white men get rights? When do we do it? When does it end? Oh my God! Press!
Oh, God.
Oh my God!
They're treading on him, literally.
Why are you oppressing him? Stop it! Stop it, liberals!
But to answer your question, we get rights.
Did you see what Antifa just did?
Hey, by the way, Antifa, that's a pretty good subtitle for Antifa. Okay. Very nice job there by our friend Walter Masterson, doing some really, really great stuff. You got to love that. We're fans of his. Okay, let's see what else we've got. What other streams do I have planned? You know, there's really been a dearth of stuff to stream lately. Like today, I was looking for what else is happening. You would think that with some of these midterms tomorrow, there would be rallies tonight with, Oz Fetterman might have a rally or whoever. JP, right? I found no rallies. Biden's meeting with the Greek prime minister. I didn't think that would garner much of an audience. So anyway, my plan is that tomorrow night I will have election results and we'll see what happens in Pennsylvania. That's my hope. That'll be tomorrow. Okay. What else? What coupon codes are live? Oh, come on. You guys know what coupon codes are live. The best coupon code is Obama. Which, as you know, of course, if you type it in, and it must be typed correctly, incorrectly. When you type in Obama, $60 becomes $19, and $6 a month becomes $1.90. It's insane. Yeah, our accounting team and our legal team is threatening to drop me because I'm just giving away too much stuff. Chicken Parm is a new Twitch Prime subscriber. I love chicken parm. Chicken parm is this is not a joke. Chicken parm is one of my favorite dishes. Sir, look up objection hearsay Depp v. Heard trial theme song. Okay, I'll do that off air. What are your thoughts, David, on the Buffalo shooting? I have like a 15-minute segment on that on today's podcast, so I won't. I don't want to jump in front. But we had a correspondent on the ground at the Trump speech over the weekend. You guys want to see a little preview? This is some of the best stuff. I mean, this is wild stuff. Let me play one of these for you. This is a preview. We had Luke Beasley on the ground there, and he did an excellent job. You can find his YouTube channel at davidpakman.com/Luke. Let's see if I can get this for you guys. This is actually, no, you know what? This isn't the best one. Let me get a better one. Let's do, oh, this is a good one.
All right.
Okay, let's do this one. I think you're going to like this. This is exclusive. Like, this is, Luke was down there for us, okay? Check this out. I think you'll like this.
I'm here with the best looking people at this event. What are you guys hoping to see here at the speech?
We're looking for anything that has to do with election fraud. We came to hear Dinesh and the new movie 2000 Mules, how to avoid this going forward. My recommendation to your whole audience is everybody needs to take off some time in November. Let's get to every ballot location with video and start videotaping this so it doesn't happen again.
Okay, what about you?
And I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where obviously they had 1,100 mules. I just wanted to ask Dinesh, what is it that we could do differently for the next election?
We came here so I could say, I flew from Philly to Austin to say, hey, Dinesh, what could we do for the next election?
And obviously, you know, it's really nice to be around a lot of other patriots.
So here's my question on that. When I hear people talk about this, I want to give it the time of day, but then you look at every official medium that you would make, you know, prove that, the courts, all those things.
Well,
and it's not,
it's
not like there's not even people that Trump appointed.
It's a good question.
So that was actually a really good moment. She says, well, the courts are fraudulent. And Luke says, but a lot of those judges were appointed by Trump. She has no answer. So she just looks over to the other guy. And then she actually makes her exit now. Watch this.
So
I don't know that, but
what's that?
I don't know that.
Well,
I need evidence to believe something like that.
You already know.
I know. So listen, there's. How about this?
She
Social
bails.
media only seems to censor liberals because they never talk how great Biden is. 81 million people. I've yet to see anything pro-Biden. How about you?
I think Biden's done good stuff. There's some pro-Biden stuff.
Like what?
American Rescue Plan, getting out of Afghanistan, managing
Inflation at
the
its
Russia-Ukraine
40-year
war.
high. Taxes at its 40-year high.
Taxes at a 40-year high. Biden hasn't touched taxes. Biden hasn't done tax reform. He hasn't done taxes.
Giving baby formula to immigrants coming over the border, except our own.
But on the baby formula thing, you do understand that that's like 0.001% of baby formula.
Are you affected by the baby formula?
I'm not. But if they don't get it, their babies starve. If Americans here, they can find other ways to get it. But they're stuck, detained.
What about the Americans that are affected?
And we need to help them as well. And that's what we're trying. I'm sure they're trying to do.
An immigrant?
Of course not. They're all
I
important.
like the fact that our tax money goes to the Ukraine where it gets laundered back to these corrupt
It
politicians.
goes to the Ukraine and it gets laundered back. All right, so that's one guy. Thanks to Shoplifting Empath for the Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate that. You guys want one more of these? We have these in full on today's podcast. If you had access to the bonus show, you would already have seen all of this stuff, by the way. You want to do one more? Let's see. Here's Communism Lady. This one is like Kafka-esque. I don't have any other way to describe it. Yeah, Luke did a really, really good job. Let's check this one out. I think you'll like this one.
The Trump event, what are you hoping to see? Besides Trump, just like what do you want to hear?
Oh, because I came from a communist country, and Trump is the one who fight for America. And
Who's communist in our country? Who's pushing communism?
I came from Vietnam. You know, Vietnam is a communist country now, and that's why we left Vietnam. We left Vietnam by boat.
I like how Luke is genuinely
Trump.
Oh God! Now, God, what the hell happened there? Hold on. I accidentally pressed something and it messed us up. I like how Luke is genuinely perplexed by what's going on. Here we go.
You know, Vietnam is a communist country now, and that's why we left Vietnam. We left Vietnam by boat, and we don't like, communists.
I understand not liking communism. What's the connection to liking Trump?
Because Trump is, he's a doer. He
This making sense to you guys?
loves everyone, and he wants to save America from, the liberals going to the left, and it's not good. So it's very bad. So that's why
Guys, don't you understand? It's very bad. That's why she likes Trump.
I'm here today to support him, because he's he's fighting for it.
So what's something that the left is doing that's super far left?
Because they support China, and we don't like China. China is a communist country, communist people, and they spread
I'm pretty sure if it were up to Trump, people from Vietnam wouldn't even be allowed in here. I mean, it's not clear that Vietnam is on Trump's list of countries he wants people to come from.
They want to conquer. They want to, to make everybody, under them. So because you never been to a communist country.
I've been to China.
You've been to China, and what do you see in China? What did you see? What do you see? Can you tell me?
Tell me exactly what you saw there.
I'm curious. I saw a lot of things, but I'm curious how this relates to the Democratic Party.
Oh, because Democrat.
Because I think both the Republican and Democratic Party are pretty much not communist.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so she doesn't like that. As you can see, very, very nice job done here. So anyway, I have 6 clips of that, and a bunch of them are on. There's a clip publishing. It's either at 4 Eastern or 5:30 Eastern today, and I think you're going to like it. I want to say thanks to Chris Tabor. Chris Tabor just signed up at joinpacman.com and is new member number 9. Remember that we are mostly funded by the community that watches the show. So all the stuff we do, the podcast, the live streams, correspondence at places, all this different stuff, it's all because of the membership program. So I would love for you to sign up at joinpacman.com. We also now have a gift option where you can check this box. Is this a gift? Checking it means yes. I hope that's clear. If you leave the box blank, you're saying this is not a gift. If you check the box, you're saying this is a gift. And if you don't want the membership for yourself, or if you already have one, I have a list of 492 people who would like a free membership. The next person in line is Candace Griffin. So if we get another gift, it's going to go to Candace Griffin, which is great. Super chat, another law bar for Trumpists. If they're the best looking there, then that cult is truly at a new low. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're getting ready for the resumption of the trial any moment now. A lot happening in the courtroom for sure. What else do we have? I'm still wearing a mask indoors always. How about you? I'm concerned about losing my taste. Heard bad things. I'm only wearing masks right now where it's required. So, whatever's required is what I'm going to do. That's where I'm at right now. Let's see what else I've got here. No, I don't know that I want to do more clips right now because we're publishing the clips at 4 to the YouTube channel. Is there audio right now? Doesn't appear to be, but we're standing by. Tomorrow night, my plan is to stream Pennsylvania election results, assuming that we have live results to look at. I will be streaming tomorrow. A few of you wrote to me about a hearing about unidentified aerial objects that the Pentagon, I guess, is holding tomorrow. Depending on my schedule, I'm going to try to stream that. I think that could be interesting. There just hasn't been that much stuff to stream lately, but I will continue doing the best I can. Nug Wrangler has just re-upped his Twitch Prime subscription for 32 months using the message Obama. Thank you, Nug Wrangler. I can't believe we are getting close to 3 years with you. Also want to say thank you to Stephen Brown and Howard Yee, each of whom just gifted a membership on my website, and I can give those away to Candace Griffin, as well as Rachel Bateman. Congratulations, getting a free membership. We love it. We love it. Congratulations to everybody. It's absolutely incredible what's going on. Absolutely. I mean, it's stunning. Gamer says, I wish this was an SNL skit. I think you mean the people we interviewed at the Trump rally. Yeah, it's not, though. It's not. Sir, what are the oranges of Obama? Obama came from here. This is where it came from.
If Ted doesn't win, your Second Amendment's going to be in trouble. Big trouble. Remember that. O'Rourke voted against the border wall. Oh, that's a good thing to him. He voted against Kate's law, and he voted for Obama. Amnesty.
That's where it comes from, everybody. Okay, so now we're all kind of on the same page as far as that goes. Did I add any more glitches? No, I still have all my same Trump glitches. Not that there's a shortage of them. Oh, you know what? I don't have God bless on this page. I have it over here.
And God bless the United States. I've had more investigations than Jesse James, Billy the Could. No more drop box. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, Mexico, and a rhino named Mitt Romney.
Obama.
Take a look at the oranges of the investigation. Then he went, Donald Trump, yeah, Donald Trump. Fresh vegetables, truth, essential.
President Donald J. Trump.
Hey, is Trump the only president to ever mispronounce another former president's name and his own? He's got to be the only president to get both his own name and another president's name wrong. I think. I can't think of any other such president. It doesn't make any sense. By the way, do we get the feeling that there's a lot of Johnny Depp fangirls in the crowd who are just captivated by him? Everybody looking over to their left, which is where Johnny's sitting. What a scene at this Virginia courthouse. What a world we live in. What a world. In fact, I think we have that. Oh, no, I don't have that. Just what a situation. It's bizarre. Bizarre. Yeah, court's going to be back any second now. Couple voicemails? Sure, I'll do a voicemail or two. Let's see what we got.
So, like, when people have the complaint, like, my body, my choice, I usually, like, give them the example that, like, I turn it around on people, you know, because it's like guys think, like, that's their body when they, like, want it to be their body. And then I rip a fart and I say, well, that was you.
What? That's very weird. I think I've got something from Eric from Mass. Yeah. We're just clearing out the voicemail, which is just so useful. Let me see. Where was that? I know it's somewhere in here. You should see what's going on with our voicemail line. It's a mess. I think I must be very close to it. Here it is. Here's Eric from Mass.
Hey, David, it's Eric from Mass. Bill Gates and the FDA just admitted COVID is just like the flu. You spent 2 years lying to people, getting them to get vaccinated for nothing, and look like a fool doing it.
Eric from Mass is incorrect. COVID is not the flu. Don't know where he got that idea. Let's see what else I've got here. Skipping this one. Some of these are just endless. Here's one from Juan.
Hey, David, it's Juan here. I have a question for you. Do you think it would be a good idea or a policy for the United States to send support, COVID support, to North Korea, given the disaster they're experiencing, the potential deaths they're going to experience, and the fact that they are mostly unvaccinated for several reasons? I know that we don't get along with them and vice versa, but maybe doing that would improve relationships.
Sure, I'm fine sending help to help the people of North Korea due to COVID. That I would have no problem with that whatsoever. I have no issue at all. Now, Whitney did call in like 10 times. I'm scared to even see what's up.
So I'm really feeling like the white supremacy is like really relevant in terms of like this artistic vision of like white hair. I just feel like maybe like Nazis and the Holocaust are more about.
Okay, I can't even do it. Let's try a different one.
Hey, David. What are your thoughts on the royal family in England, in the UK? This came to my mind just because I recently saw a clip. I think it was an interview between Bill Maher and Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan got offended, I think, if I remember correctly, because Bill Maher basically doesn't respect the royal family. I don't see them as leaders. I don't see.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the royal family myself. I think it's an antiquated institution, but I'm not British. It's for the folks across the pond to figure out what they want to do. Sophia asked, David, are you still going on Patrick David Bett's show? It's Patrick Bet David. I've been looking forward to you going on a show because political tales are really bad. It hasn't been rescheduled right now, but he said I'm welcome anytime. And, you know, when I have some time to get down to Florida, I look forward to doing it. Let's see. I want to say thank you to Ron Hollitz, who just signed up at joinpacman.com and is new member number 13. Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate you doing a beautiful thing to support our program. It's a great thing. Sir, what new wacky theories, if any, do you think Republicans or Trump will come up with for alleged voter fraud if MAGA candidates lose in the midterms? I don't think they need new ones. They'll just repeat the ones that they've already been using. I don't know that I expect them necessarily to come up with any new ones. Let's see if I've got anything else here. Guess I've got one on the shooting.
Hey, David, that shooter in Buffalo cited great replacement theory.
Yes.
That makes no sense to me because it's not like black people in this country, for the most part, are immigrants. I know some are, but
listen, you're trying to make sense of things that don't make any sense. That's always fraught. That's always fraught. Oh, you know what? A lot of people are having major issues with their machines because of the Mike Pillow lawsuit.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Listen to this call.
Hello, David, sir. This is Dino from the Bay Area, a first-time caller. First, I wanted to tell you that my air fryer has actually been sent a cease and desist letter by Mike Pillow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep you in the loop on that. It looks like this lawsuit against all machines is really heating up.
Yeah.
But the main reason for my call is I have a question about progressives in America for you. As a young adult who is very interested in politics, it is sometimes very frustrating to see progressives not unable to, but be unsuccessful in getting their main policy proposals passed by Congress, such as Medicare for all, climate change reform, a more worker-oriented.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there because it goes on for a long time and it's not super suited to our elements here. But then Dino called back in, and then I guess he's having a problem with his record player as well.
Hello, David, sir. This is Dino from the Bay Area. First, I want to let you know that recently my record player has been subpoenaed by Mike Pillow. So we'll have to see where that goes. That's looking pretty ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, the lawsuit is really crazy.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
I don't know where it's going, but we're going to be looking at that very, very strongly. Okay.
Hi, David. My name is Peggy, and I'm calling from Portland, Oregon. I just watched the clip on is it a cult or is it a religious experience? There's really not much of a difference. I have been to some of those meetings with family who are evangelicals.
Right.
And the sense that you get from attending these is almost like when you're around a hypnotist. There's so much background noise and so much sensory overload that your brain short circuits, and then you're far more susceptible to whatever's being said. And I've been to some of the church meetings where people are speaking in tongues. They'll do an altar call. People will become overwhelmed. They'll pass out. And they're just literally lowered to the ground and people just carry on. It is very bizarre. I believe it is done intentionally to keep people in a trance so that they can't think through what they're supposed to do. Church experiences where I go to a Presbyterian church are not like that.
Okay, yeah, I think we get it. So the clip that the caller is referring to is this one. This is really crazy stuff.
Now, Lord, according to your word, we take authority over our education system.
And Lord, we call for righteousness in our education system, truth in our education system, justice in our education system. We cast down that demonic hold of indoctrination in our education system. And God, we declare that there's no education outside of the word of the living God.
Obama.
There's no true education outside of the word of the living God. We declare according to your word that all of our children shall be disciples, taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace and undisturbed composure of our children.
That's what she's talking about. And we were like, is this a religious event or an insane asylum? And the caller is saying there's not much of a distinction between the two, which is pretty weaponized. I want to say thanks to Blueberry Babe for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 14 today. Also, welcome Deborah Jackman, who has just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com. And Blake Daniel has just gifted another membership. That's number 16. I am glad to give that membership to Jason Girth. Jason Girth, you can request a free membership at at davidpacman.com/free membership. You can give a membership by checking that this is a gift box at joinpacman.com as you go through the sign up process. I can't tell you how glad I am to see all of you folks here today. We are moments away from the resumption of testimony here, Amber Heard in the court. I don't know what issue they are dealing with, but there's a bit of a sidebar going on, and we're continuing to monitor it. A caller, someone we've had to ban from Twitch like 20 times has now left 4 voicemails. Do I even dare listen to them? Let's see.
Hey, David. My name is Levante Tech. My Twitter handle is Levante.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. I want to do Twitter handles.
Hi, David. Could you please go fuck yourself? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Third voicemail.
Hi, David. Could you please go fuck yourself? Thank you.
All right. And 4th voicemail.
Could you please go fuck yourself? Thank you.
Okay. 3 requests. Well, we understand the request. It's been received. And it will be processed by a customer support agent in the order that it was received, I guess is what I would say.
And we will ban men.
Yeah. Okay. And then just one more here.
What's going on, David? First time caller, long time listener, like really long time, like back when you looked. Well, you looked like a 14-year-old. Yeah, you've been getting some insane callers.
Yes, right on cue. After 4 go F yourselves. Go F's yourself. Anyway, yeah, very well said.
Like it's definitely a call to like lacking mental health infrastructure in this nation.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd give you something else. Sorry. I did not mean to blow your mind, But that
Is this an original? Does anybody know?
shit happens all the time.
Okay. All right. We got to get away from that. That's pretty aggressive. Okay. That's actually my that's actually my phone alarm. Every morning I hear that. If you could, it's a very strange place where I live. You should. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. All right. People are demanding one more clip from the Trump rally. All right. Let's try one more. Here's a guy who thinks Joe Biden hasn't deported a single person. Okay. Here's another special exclusive. Here is an exclusive. Oh, wait, looks like we're back. We'll get back to that later, okay? Oh, thanks to Doorfish for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you. The jury's coming back in. Beautiful.
All right. Thank you. All right. Be seated. Cross-examination.
Oh, it is cross-examination. Here we go. Oh, boy. Settle in.
Good afternoon, Ms. Heard.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
Not that I've noticed, no.
You've looked at him, though, many times, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, boy.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true?
I don't recall if he said that.
One of the last times you ever saw Mr. Depp was when you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
That was the second to last time I saw him, yes.
And this was after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence.
I got my restraining order before that, yes. Mm-hmm.
And this is after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Let's please play Plaintiff Exhibit 1229.
Oh, boy.
For the record, it's at 1101 through 1209. I'm going to ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection to 1229?
Yes.
All right, 1229. You want it entered in its entirety?
Yes, please.
Okay, 1229 entered in its entirety. Go ahead and play yours.
This is going to get pretty nuts by all accounts.
I don't understand. Is this what you want?
No. Oh, no, a hug will save it all. All this, everything we just been
I just wanted to touch you.
through. Really? After all this shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you
all
a
this
hug.
shit you fucking accused me of? You want to touch me?
Please stop.
Fucking
Please stop.
fucking nuts.
Please, I just wanted to hug you and say bye. I didn't want to take it back.
We did that last night. It's fine. That was good enough. No, because I'm nothing to you, and I will always be nothing to you.
Calm.
What? You're not my friend. No, it's your own fucking heart. No, we'll never see each other again. We won't don't take my fucking glasses off. You don't like fucking looking at not my fucking eyes? You will not see my eyes again.
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Miss Heard?
He can't.
One of the first questions your counsel asked you on direct is, why are you here? Do you remember that?
I do.
Let's please play Plaintiff Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140.
Wait and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
yes.
It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
That's your voice on that recording, right?
Yes, it is.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
And the man you beat up numerous times. Right, Ms. Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr. Depp finally told the world that he is a victim of domestic violence.
I know that he is suing me and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
I found it hard to believe that he could or that he would do that, considering the relationship he and I had. I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
With all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he's a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
No, ma'am.
And once he left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Uh-oh.
Let's look at some of that.
Oh, boy.
Mr. Depp wears rings on every finger, doesn't he, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience, yes.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No, they are not.
Every one of his fingers is adorned, your words, big, chunky rings. Isn't that right?
That's my experience of him.
And Mr. Depp is always wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience of him.
And you've never known him not to wear these rings.
That's my experience, is he normally wore rings, yes.
So Mr. Depp was wearing these big, chunky rings on every finger, every incident of abuse you've described to this jury, right?
I can't say for certain it was in every single incident.
But you've never known him not to wear rings, right?
In general, my experience with Johnny is that he wears rings almost all the time.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony in a deposition in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Can we please play from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, lines 11 through 15?
You said he hit you and he was wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard? So he hit you with rings on every finger?
I don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
Ms. Heard, you testified to an incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And you testified, quote, "You don't know how many times he hit you in the face."
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't
The
specific.
testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial, March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
I'm sorry, just so I understand better. There were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty much
March
always...
of 2013.
Right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion?
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
Okay, let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 170A, which is already in evidence.
Will the argument be that there's no marks from rings?
You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's no medical records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times.
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
Despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on on his fingers.
That's correct. I did not seek medical attention, other than my therapist.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen one. I can't recall. There are a lot of pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you, Ms.
I don't know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that alleged incident that your teeth, your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That picture doesn't exist.
I don't know which one you're talking about. We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to this jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
That's the only picture you've shown to this jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
You testified about an incident in Russia on or about June 26, 2013. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp, quote, whacked you in the face.
That's correct.
And you went to the bathroom after that, right?
I did.
And then, according to your testimony, when you came out of the bathroom, Jerry Judge, Mr. Depp's security guard, who's passed away, pointed out that your nose was bleeding, right?
He did that in the hallway.
And you said you hadn't known that your nose was bleeding until Jerry Judge pointed it out to you?
Yes, that's correct. I was unaware until he brought it up to me. I didn't see it when I was in the bathroom, but I wasn't looking.
So it's your testimony that you went into the bathroom and didn't look in the mirror, which I assume was in the bathroom, to notice that your nose is bleeding?
That's not why I went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom crying. I don't even know if I paid attention to the mirror. I certainly didn't enough to notice any blood.
And you didn't take any pictures of your bloody nose either, did you?
I did not.
But pictures were taken of you in Russia, though. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had a press or a dinner.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1248.
This is extremely delicate when you're cross-examining someone who says that they've been abused. I think the choice of having one of the female attorneys do it is obvious that it's absolutely necessary for the purposes of the optics. And, you know, we'll see ultimately what the jury finds credible here.
Function, I believe, in promotion of the movie. Wasn't the premiere, if I recall.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1249. This is a picture of you, isn't it, right?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to Exhibit 1249.
All right, 1249 in evidence.
This is also a picture from when you were in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, right?
That is correct.
And you have no visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Even though Mr. Depp whacked you in the face so hard that your nose bled?
He did.
While wearing chunky, big rings, right?
That's correct.
You also testify that Mr. Depp, again, whacked you in the face after the Met Gala in May of 2014, right?
That is correct.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
That's correct.
You said your nose was, quote, swollen discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to this jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
You understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after any alleged incidents of violence, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala.
I produced everything.
You also understand that you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
That's correct.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers. Everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Well, does such
Is it
a
your
record
testimony, Ms.
exist?
Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Not after the Met Gala. I did not seek medical attention, no.
You also attended an event after the Met Gala in May of 2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
You went to the All-Star Comedy Tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1252. This is a picture of you, Ms. Heard,
Yes, it is.
at that event,
Yes, it is.
the night after the Met Gala,
Yes, it is.
the night after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose.
I'm not sure if it was broken, for the record, but yeah, you should see what it looked like underneath the makeup.
He whacked you so hard in the face that you thought you had broken your nose.
Exactly.
Right. Permission to admit this photograph.
All right, 1252 in evidence.
This is a picture of you, Mr. Depp, and Don Rickles, right?
That is correct.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1253. This is another picture from that evening, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
Permission to admit Exhibit 1253 and publish it.
All right, so moved. 1253 in evidence.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254. This is also a picture of you at the same event, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
All right, 1254 in evidence. You can publish. Thank you.
And just to confirm now that the jury can see it, this is a picture of you at the same event, the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. Normally, the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine. And for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup. That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown
did.
to this jury, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury.
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes, that's fine.
So it's very hard without being in the room to really get a sense of, what the jury is thinking here. My instinct right now is that this is I think a reasonable jury would at least say we should consider whether the story she told under direct examination is accurate. But I think she's been coached well enough that it's not like a disaster yet, is my instinct. I don't know what people in the audience think, but I think the building case of all these injuries that are invisible in every picture, and the pictures that would show it weren't presented, even though they would strengthen your case, but that's my attorney's fault. I don't know how strong that is. If her lawyers didn't produce the image, it must not have been very good. Yeah. And remember that this is ultimately about defamation, but the facts of the defamation would be, if Johnny Depp abused her, then by definition, her articles told the truth, and thus it's not defamation because it was accurate. And so even though it's about who abused who, it's going to the underlying issue of whether allegations of abuse are defamatory. You also have to, in defamation, prove that it was damaging, right? Like, I could say Johnny Depp abused me. It might be inaccurate. It is. He didn't abuse me. But also, if it doesn't damage him in any way, that's an obstacle to making a defamation case. Yeah, the lawyers are speaking to the judge right now. I guess, you know, from a layperson's perspective, it's hard to imagine why the most damaging images of Amber Heard appearing to be injured wouldn't be part of the case that her lawyers make. You know, I don't know that you can really probe the lawyers. You can't probe the lawyers as to why pictures that may be good for them weren't shown. But it is weird. We as individual lay people can say, if they had the pictures of Amber Heard looking very injured, you'd think they would become part of the case, unless they thought the pictures weren't particularly compelling. I don't know. In the meantime, I believe today it was actually announced that Johnny Depp has been now formally dropped from Pirates of the Caribbean, the franchise, if I recall correctly. Thanks to Stoic Stranger, Tech Strickle, for gifting 2 subscriptions as well. Very much appreciate that. Yes, of course, implicit in all of this is that the pictures may not exist at all. They may not exist at all. That's absolutely conceivable, without a doubt.
Hey, David, I was wondering, how do you set up a Discord server?
Yeah, I'm not tech support. You'd have to go ask someone else.
So I noticed that Benjamin's wife is from Morocco. So, like, she's mixed with, like, French and also, like, maybe some stuff from Egypt.
Is she talking about Benjamin Shapiro? I don't even know what that's about.
Okay. Kind of like a, hot and cold response from the chat and from you too, Mr. Pac-Man, from my unplugged Tenacious D stunning rendition. So, all right, we'll do that a little more. I'm the devil, I love metal. Jack is wicked fucking tasty. I'm the devil, I can do what I want. Whatever I call, I'm gonna fuck.
Yeah, I really don't know what's happening. I genuinely have no idea. It's very strange. Very strange. Thanks to Cameratageous for the Twitch Prime subscription. I really appreciate that. You're number 22 today. 22. Let me see if I can squeeze in a little more of the open borders video from the rally in Texas. We'll get back to the trial as soon as it restarts. Oh, they're back. Okay.
Ms. Heard, you testified that in January of 2015, there was an incident in Tokyo before Mr. Depp's Mordecai, the film Mordecai's premiere. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct, in the closet.
And you also told this jury that you wore a backless dress to the Mordecai premiere that very same night.
I did.
And you testified that you were checking for bruises in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were, quote, no visible marks, right?
I was checking on my phone after the event to make sure that you couldn't see anything.
Your testimony was that you were checking in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were no marks on your back.
Perhaps I misspoke or I misunderstood. It was on the way back from it was after I was concerned. Concerned that there would be marks in any photographs since we were being photographed at Johnny's press event.
And you didn't show this jury a picture of you in that backless dress, though, did you?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You didn't show this jury a picture of you at the Mordecai premiere wearing a backless dress, did you?
I haven't had the opportunity to.
Okay.
I assume you have it?
I do. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1256. This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp, or the back of you, at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit and publish this picture.
All right, 1256 in evidence.
This is you in the backless dress at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, right?
That is correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks on your back in this picture?
No, not that I could see.
I'll show you one other photo. If we could please have Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
Some of these zooms are a little bit suggestive.
This is a front angle picture of you and Mr. Depp at that premiere, correct?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
All right, 1257 in evidence.
I'll show you one more picture. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258. And again, Ms. Heard, this is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
All right, 1258 in evidence. Publish.
And that's the backless dress, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You also told this jury about an incident in Australia in March of 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
I don't think I took any pictures.
You just took 2 pictures of Mr. Depp's writing on a mirror. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yes.
So you had your phone on you, right?
At some point I did have my phone.
And your iPad?
I had my iPad, I believe.
And you testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
Not for the cuts?
No.
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
You also told the jury about an incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
Where? I'm sorry.
December 15th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You told this jury that after this incident, you had a broken nose.
It certainly felt like it.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony on day 16th in this trial? You
Yes,
are
I
under
do.
oath, right?
Yes.
We can have a transcript for the jury, or excuse me, for the witness.
Welcome, everybody coming from Loner Box's Twitch channel. Welcome.
Okay. All right. We'll get it.
In the middle of the cross-examination of Amber Heard in the Johnny Depp defamation trial.
I will do. Thank you, Judy.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
All right. Yes, ma'am.
And would you like a copy? sir?
Yes, please.
If I can please direct your attention, Ms. Heard, to page of day 16, 4593 of the jury trials transcript.
For everyone just joining us, we'll be live with the Pennsylvania election results tomorrow night.
Lines 8 through 13.
On which page? I'm sorry.
4593.
Probably around 8 Eastern tomorrow night.
Yes.
Starting on line 8. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly thought, excuse me, strike that, let's start over. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually. So lines 9, that I had a broken nose. Do you recall giving that testimony, Ms. Heard?
Yes, exactly.
So you had a broken nose, right?
That's absolutely what I thought.
And you told this jury that you had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did have 2 black eyes after that incident.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
That is correct. From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
You also testified that you had bruising on your temple.
That's correct.
And bruising on your chin.
Correct.
You also testified that your head was bleeding from where Mr. Depp ripped chunks of your hair out.
I remember, yes.
And that you had, quote, gross, pussy, and, quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
Now, for this incident, you did take pictures.
That's correct.
And we will look at some of those in a minute, but I first want to talk to you about your appearance on the James Corden show.
Sure. Can I close this?
Sure. You appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged incident, right?
I did.
And that was December 16th, 2015?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please pull up a clip of your appearance from that evening. If we could, Plaintiff's Exhibit 35. And for the record, we will only be playing a portion of this, so we will call it Plaintiff's Exhibit 35A.
All right. Any objection? 35A in evidence.
I grew up, in Texas riding horses and.
Oh, really?
Not
a big ballet community out there in Texas.
No, not so much. Shooting guns, yes, but ballet, no. So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no, grace?
So I knew, Your Honor, I'm so sorry, but it's not published to the jury. If we may have it, please published.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. If we can please start that over.
Start it over, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I grew up, in Texas riding horses and.
Oh, really?
Not
a big ballet community out there in Texas.
No, not so much. Shooting guns, yes, but ballet, no. So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no grace. So I knew I had to train for it, and what they don't tell you, I crammed about 3 months of solid training in, and I'm kind of like working my way up from the floor and learning the technical aspect of ballet, and I've got these dances down technically perfectly. I'm learning all the movements, but the last thing we get to are the hands. And I haven't yet got to that point, but everything else is working. I'm acting it up on my face, and I'm selling the ballet. And I think I'm doing really good at this point, kind of nailing it. And so I send videos and images to my friends to get encouragement and look for their support. And everyone shoots back, what's with the claw hand? And I look and I realize all that stress and fear of performing and doing this thing had just kind of funneled out through the one thing that I hadn't yet
What
mastered.
were your hands doing?
So I'd be doing this amazing, I'd be doing a jump with a back bend, and you can see this graceful falling, and my hands are and my face though is I've got that you saw in the clip, this beautiful 1920s, stage makeup on and flower crowns and all this stuff, and then my hand and my face, and then my hands.
That was you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
That was.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
If you're just joining us, the point of all these exhibits from the cross-examination perspective is to show that the injuries she claimed she had, she didn't really have.
Screen grabs, stills. They're not it's not like a photo shoot, it doesn't seem.
But on the James Corden show, correct?
From that appearance, yes.
Move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
Any objections? All right. And Ms. Bernhoff, you could move the microphone and turn it on for you, so Judy and I are having trouble hearing you.
Sorry about that.
All right, thank you. All right, 98 in evidence. Thank you.
That's a photo of you opening your mouth on the right?
That's correct.
And again, a larger view of the same photo on the bottom.
That's correct.
With a split lip.
You've seen pictures of it without makeup. Yes.
So you had a split lip when you were
sure
moving
did.
your mouth that way
I sure did.
in those photographs.
Absolutely.
Okay. You did take pictures of your alleged injuries after December 15th, correct? And you showed those to this jury?
I sure did, yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendants Exhibit 516, which is already in evidence. You testified that this is a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
It was.
And if we could also please pull up Defendants Exhibit 517, which is also in evidence.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015.
That's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which is already in evidence. These pictures ended up in People magazine in June of 2016. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You gave these pictures to People magazine after you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I didn't personally know.
This was you protecting Mr. Depp after you got the restraining order against him, isn't it?
No, this is him calling me a liar and me forcing to prove it, as I mentioned to you earlier.
So you did give these pictures to People magazine?
No, I gave these pictures actually to my lawyers and my representatives at the time.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures of their client to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it, no.
Personally?
You also have a medical record from after the December 15th.
But they must have agreed that the lawyer would provide it, right? I mean, that only makes sense.
Yes.
You went to see Dr. Kipper's office a couple days later.
That's right. He wasn't in the office.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 47, which is already in evidence? This is your medical record for December 17th, 2015, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day. And
But you went to Dr. Kipper's office and were seen, correct?
I went to Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right, okay. And this medical record is from that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Scroll down, please, if we could. The signature, Kipper, down below. This is the entirety of the medical record, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask for anything other than should I get some sort of scan done.
But this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I'd have to read it in full, but I don't know.
Well, let's do that. If we could please go, well, under skin on the second page, it reads intact, normal color, moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor, no signs of, oh, this is going to be hard, cyanosis?
Cyanosis?
Jaundice?
Come on.
It also says I'm a well-nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
Did you say it says she's
It
a
doesn't
well-nourished
document any physical
male?
injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Probably because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Heard?
I disagree with you on that.
Yeah, it does
You
say
don't have any
male.
medical records reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
That's weird.
I saw an ENT after my relationship ended.
And you saw an ENT, it's your testimony under oath that you saw an ENT for broken noses that you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
No, but the ENT told me I sustained
Objection.
multiple fractures.
No, I'm going to move to strike.
I'll sustain the objection. I'll move to strike. Okay.
Thank you. So again, just to try my question, there's no medical records reflecting that you
It
broke your
seems that she was trying to say that the ENT verbally told her her nose was broken, but there's no record, so that it was struck.
Documented that visit and that everything was given to my attorneys.
Ms. Heard, you never went to see any doctor or surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Yes or no?
I never sought treatment for a broken nose while I was with Johnny.
Or after you were with Mr. Depp as a result of any injuries you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp?
Afterwards, yes, I did.
And you didn't produce those medical records in this case?
I would object, Your Honor. She did.
I did.
I don't know. All right.
They have not been produced, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
they've not only
All right,
been
if you would
produced.
come and approach.
So again, part of the thing here, I think, comes to, well, people filing out all of a sudden of the courtroom. The question of being produced. Amber Heard is insisting that she has produced them to her attorneys. but her attorneys have not made them part of the trial. But I don't think if they're not in evidence, it just doesn't seem that it's of any value for her to say, well, they exist, but my lawyers aren't using them. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear from lawyers in the audience about that.
You don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any dental work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I don't know. I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or another seeking dental care for any injuries you allegedly sustained?
You asked me about if I had produced records or if I had records. That's a different question.
Did you ever see a dentist or an oral surgeon as a result of any injuries you sustained with Mr. Depp?
Not about any injury I had from Johnny, no.
And you don't have any medical records reflecting that you required any reconstructive work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records.
What you do have, Ms. Heard, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Ms. Heard, let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence. You took this photograph, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you testified that this was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a
and
yes.
I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So I started taking pictures of it so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
Let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence. You took this picture as well.
Yes.
And this is a picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
It's one of them, yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island?
I believe he was on the nod, but as he would say.
Sleeping on the nod on his island?
They're very different, in my opinion. And
Okay.
yes, he is on the island.
On vacation?
We were on vacation, yes.
Let's also take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1092, which is also in evidence. You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr. Depp asleep in a chair.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different. When you're nodding off, you're high on drugs. Didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had, been burning on his leg. It was cause for alarm for me, naturally, because I cared about him.
It's your testimony under oath that Mr. Depp is holding a cigarette in this picture?
He had been.
You seem to really like taking pictures of Mr. Depp while he's sleeping, don't you?
I hated it. I hated it.
Let's look at Defendants Exhibit 1094, which is also in evidence. You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
You decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice cream or a lit cigarette on him, and it scared me.
So you took a picture of it?
Yes, I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers who clean up after him.
Objection,
and protect
Your
him.
Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after yes, that she took this picture.
Still responsive, Your Honor.
The question was, did you take this picture?
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
You wouldn't agree that this is, or you would agree with me that this is an embarrassing scene, right?
Yes, I think it's a part of getting help, is looking at it, seeing it.
But you sent this picture to one of your friends, didn't you?
I don't recall.
If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 252. We'll only be looking at the portion of this document. So if we could please call it Defendants Exhibit 252A.
252A.
And for ease, we've gone ahead and redacted it.
Yes, I was asking for support. That's correct.
There's no question yet, Ms. Hurd. So directing your attention, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 252A.
Any objection? Any objection, Ms. Fredero? Could you turn your microphone again? I'm sorry. Thank you.
I need to see it first because I don't know what they redacted.
252.
We redacted the identifiers and anything that's not Ms. Hurd's
Up or down on
text messages, consistent with hearsay.
Thanks to Chicken Parm for the 5 gifted subs. I saw that and I do appreciate it. Didn't want to interrupt the testimony. Thank you.
You remember we approach?
Okay.
So presumably what's at issue here is that she said she doesn't remember. Amber Heard says she doesn't remember whether she texted the ice cream picture to anyone. My guess is they have text messages showing that she did. That would be my guess. I want to say thanks to Juan the Troll Man for gifting another subscription today. That's number 31. That subscription goes to Caitlin Genovese. You can request a free membership at davidpacman.com/free membership. Also, thanks to Manunic for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 32. I believe this should go to the top of the hour. Are you guys aware of whether this goes until 5 or 5:30 Eastern today? I don't actually remember one way or the other. Tomorrow night around 8 Eastern, I'll be live with Pennsylvania Senate results. We've got the Democratic primary, the Republican primary, a number of other elections as well. Yes, she did seem to admit it before a question was even asked, but since there was no question asked, I don't believe that utterance is part of the record. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, they're having pretty massive technical issues here. Let me see if I have my technical issues section.
And are incredible. Oh, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. The Biden. Let me recover my ears for 1 second.
Yep. Whoever typically runs audio at the Trump rallies seems to be doing it for the court as well. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Okay, let's see if now I can get to a little bit of our open borders video.
For the audience, what that sign is all about?
Well, that sign is about open border. Yeah, you know, every country protect the country, the people by the border. Every country have a border. Why Biden open their border?
But you understand that at the border, thousands upon thousands of people are getting detained every single day, and thousands of people are being deported. So we're enforcing the border, just maybe not as much as you would like.
Well, I don't think 1,000 people is deported. I think nobody's deported right now.
The deportation stopped on the day Joe Biden became
Sir,
president.
does this refresh your recollection that you did in fact send this picture to your friend Rocky Pennington?
Yes, I did.
And you sent it to her on August 7th, 2014 at 11:24 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
So you sent Miss Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp?
That is me getting support from my best friend.
This is you supporting Mr. Depp?
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was opiate Johnny. This is a different version of him. This is opiate on the nod Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that opiate Johnny, or the monster as you called him, would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend?
Well, he's all of those things. Of course he could get upset. Of course that's scary to me, of course. But
didn't stop you from sending this picture to your friend, did it?
why would it?
Mr. Depp's right hand is in his pocket, right, Ms. Heard? In this
Yes,
picture?
that's correct.
You also showed this jury pictures of cocaine. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please take a look at one of those. If we could please pull up Defendants Exhibit 167A, which is already in evidence.
There's been a question as to whether the cross-examination would push on Amber Heard's claim, I believe that she's not used cocaine. We'll see if that's what they're getting to here.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to a photograph. This is a photograph you took in March of 2013, right?
That is correct.
And this was taken at your apartment in Orange?
Yes.
And this is your breakfast table?
That is correct.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp left this breakfast table just the way you took it?
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine?
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Heard?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
I'm asking if you do. You've testified you've done cocaine.
I have.
Doesn't really look like Mr. Depp or anyone was doing cocaine off that table, does it?
I beg to differ with you on that. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose.
And there's
Doesn't stay
residue.
on the table.
There's residue from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right?
Well, the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to put the cocaine in your nose.
Mr. Depp is a pretty heavy smoker, right?
He is.
And that's a cigarette in the ashtray in the back there? Back right?
Yes, it looks like one of his hand rolls.
There's no other cigarettes in that ashtray, are there?
I see 1 cigarette.
The one that's not smoked?
That's correct.
There's no ash in that ashtray either, is there?
Not that I can tell in this picture.
It's pretty clean.
In this picture, it looks like it, yes.
It's a pretty neat table. Wouldn't you agree?
Depends on what you would call neat, I suppose.
And you sent this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington, as well, didn't you?
I sure did.
And when you sent it, you said, quote, "Look at my morning," or something like that. Is that right?
Yay for mornings.
So you have a habit of sending staged photographs to your friend Rocky, don't you?
I had a habit of communicating with my best friend about what was going on in my life.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
You don't even have any pictures of Mr. Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
I don't know. No, I haven't.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Sorry, say that again?
You recall capturing Mr. Depp in the kitchen of one of his homes, beating up some cabinets?
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did. I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
You were deposed in August of 2016 in connection with your divorce proceedings from Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before
So real
your
quick,
deposition.
is the argument about that picture that like there's an unsmoked cigarette, no ashes, 4 lines of cocaine that are undisturbed, and that is the idea it's unlikely that Johnny Depp would set all that up and then leave?
I remember learning about it when I landed.
So it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
You settled your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
That sounds right.
And in connection with that settlement, you received $7 million from Mr. Depp, true?
That's correct.
And then
6.8, exactly.
Your settlement amount was $7 million.
That's correct.
And then you released a statement in which you claimed you would be donating the entire $7 million to charity, right?
That's correct.
You stated you would be donating half of the $7 million to the ACLU.
That's correct.
And you would be donating the other half to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
That is correct.
And you also stated, with respect to the $7 million divorce settlement, that money played no role except for the extent that you could donate the money to charity.
Yes, that's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1259.
Is it disputed that the money was ultimately donated?
This is
or
an article entitled Amber Heard Donates Johnny Depp Divorce Settlement to Charity. Read her statement in full. Is that correct?
That's what the title says,
I don't know if they've disputed
Directing
that.
your attention to the portion on the second page where it says, quote, read the statement below. Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
This is not her statement. This is some.
She just testified, Your Honor, that it's her statement.
May I say the full?
Everything else is redacted.
Okay, then I have no objection.
All right, 1259 in evidence as redacted.
The statement reads, as described in the restraining order and divorce settlement, money played no role for me personally and never has, except to the extent that I could donate it to charity, and in doing so, hopefully help those less able to defend themselves. As reported in the media, the amount received in the divorce was $7 million, and $7 million is being donated. This is over and above any funds that I have given away in the past and will continue to give away in the future. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct. I don't remember that last line, but I have no... it doesn't stand out to me as wrong.
There's nothing inaccurate in the statement.
Not that I recognize, no.
Mr. Depp donated $100,000 of the divorce settlement directly to the ACLU. Is that right?
Right at the beginning of the divorce settlement, he donated $100,000 to each charity on my behalf or towards my contribution.
So $100,000
to each.
To the ACLU.
And to the Children's Hospital.
And in response, you publicly demanded that Mr. Depp pay the divorce settlement directly to you instead of the charities, right?
That was always the agreement, actually, is for him to pay me directly. It was not his money as per the settlement agreement to give away and reap a tax benefit from. I said if he wants to do it and give to charity all of a sudden, then he should pay the correct amount and not try to get a big tax break for it. So effectively for his tax bracket, he should be paying double that amount to the charity directly. And if he wanted to pay the charity directly, he could. He could do that, was fine with me, but he would need to pay the adjusted amount.
Ultimately, the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement was paid directly to you, right?
Over time, yes.
And Mr. Depp didn't end up paying the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement directly to the charities you identified.
That is correct. He paid them installments to me.
You stopped that from happening, didn't you?
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
That is incorrect. I said if you want to pay the charities directly, pay the adjusted amount, or pay as per our agreement in the settlement or in the divorce, as per our agreement.
You also
And
publicly...
he chose to do the former, not the latter. I mean, the other way around.
You also publicly stated that the $7 million divorce settlement should be paid to the charities immediately in full, right?
If he wanted to pay it in the way that he was suggesting, yes.
And you said publicly that the payments to the charities should not be drawn out over many years, right?
I said that I don't recall the exact words that I used, but basically that he shouldn't use this as a novel interest in getting a tax break. That if he wanted to do that and not pay me the settlement, that was fine, but he would have to pay the adjusted amount and not make it, a commitment he would not fulfill or try to avoid in some other way.
And that's because you wanted the entire world to think that you were donating every penny of the $7 million divorce.
I think that's legit. Like if it's $7 million to her, that as a settlement wouldn't be tax deductible. If he donates $7 million to charities, it seems legit for her to say, no, he can't get a $3 million tax break for the $7 million donation. He should donate $10 million instead. That seems logical to me.
Didn't you?
I don't recall.
Let's see if we can refresh your recollection.
Because understand, the idea would be if he donates the $7 million and it's tax deductible and he pays 42% tax or whatever it is based on being in California, 45, 46, it's almost like he really only paid 3.8.
This is an article entitled Amber Heard and Johnny Depp Row Over Divorce Donations. And if I could direct your attention to where it says, I believe it's on the second page, her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Objection, hearsay, spokeswoman, it's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor. You want to come forward?
So now the issue is that they are going to argue as to whether it's hearsay or if there is an exception for a spokesperson specifically speaking on the behalf of an individual. In the meantime, if you're just joining us, Professor Jordan B. Peterson has gone after me on Twitter. We looked at that earlier. It's very, very strong. Let's see how that is looking. I just responded with a yikes. I don't plan on engaging further. Not a very high engagement tweet. My stupid one-word response has a third of the likes. Yeah, anyway, he didn't like my clip about him weeping recently.
You released a statement
May we approach again?
Okay.
They're approaching again. We'll watch a few more seconds of our video from on the ground in Texas over the weekend.
Yes, thousands of people are being deported.
Before, but no.
Under Joe Biden.
No, we Biden. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's if you just disagree with something, you just go, nuh-uh. Now, of course, people are being deported under Biden. And it's wild to think that no one's being deported anymore, but they are. We'll have, I believe that the full clip is live in 35 minutes on our YouTube channel, I believe. And that is going to be a good one to watch. Yeah.
Before we ask the next question, I'll just hand you a copy of this one.
I want to see it before you ask.
That's what
Nuh-uh.
I said. Okay, that's exactly what I said.
One of my favorite phrases in political debate is just, nuh-uh. Another one I like is,
Your Honor, would you like to see
rhino
this
named
one?
Mitt Romney. That's right. That's fine.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Welcome, everybody. We're just watching the defamation trial here. Currently, Amber Heard is being cross-examined.
Could you please turn your microphone on? I'm sorry, Ms. Burnoff.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, they gave me a redacted, but I don't have the unredacted to be able to see the full document.
I plan to admit it, or ask that it be admitted in redacted form. I'm taking away any hearsay, and I'm just trying to lay the foundation that this is a statement she released through a spokesperson.
How would I know whether there's more to it that shouldn't be redacted, Your Honor, if I don't see the full document?
Please proceed, Governor.
That's a fair question. Sort of like, where are the pictures that don't exist? Which picture that doesn't exist?
Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do. We have the right to be able to see the document.
All right. Do you have a document that's not redacted?
We can pull it up on our computers.
Okay.
Just give us a moment, Your Honor.
All right.
I can represent this is the full statement that's reported.
A lot of
Give an
technical
opportunity to
stuff.
look at the unredacted one.
Millibyte, megabyte.
Uncharged pixels?
These trials get so technical, you know? Pixels and millibytes and megabytes. Oh, Super Chat came in. This whole trial, I've noticed a lot of hearsay objections being enforced. Very well said. Indeed. This is supposed to be over by Memorial Day. The judge said she will be sticking to it extremely strongly from what she said. We're getting late into the day, as you can see from the angle of the sun in the courthouse. Some call it magic hour. I would never call it that, but some do. We'll be live tomorrow with Pennsylvania results, yes, at 8 o'clock. Looks like they're almost in agreement here. Here's a quick voicemail for you.
Hello there. Yeah. Having these people come at the end of the...
Barely audible. I'm not going to subject you to that.
So, Your Honor,
David,
can we have a copy of this?
Yeah, you can get a copy of that later today. Okay?
Right.
All right.
I mean, I think she should be giving us copies of the full thing.
Well, I understand, but
before.
we'll take care of that. But
Okay.
as of right now, can we continue?
We can, Your Honor, but I have an objection because of there's some quotation marks missing.
Okay, come forward.
Uh-oh, there's quotation marks. Here's a voicemail and more problems with lawsuits related to machines, apparently.
David, I just wanted to reach out to say that I'm very, very afraid for my Breville. My Breville Barista Express BEF870XL espresso machine.
That's a beautiful machine. That's the one I have.
In stainless steel is facing 30 years to life because of Mike Lindell, our friend Mike Pillow, his lawsuit. So please pray for my espresso machine. I cannot pay for his legal defense. So
my espresso machine's actually going to be represented by celebrity lawyer Mark Garagos.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
We're all going to be on manual toothbrushes soon, my friends. Jarrett says, love the stream. Keep up the good work.
All right.
It's called Golden Hour, David. What did I call it? Did I not call it Golden Hour? What did I say?
So directing your attention, Ms. Heard, where it says her spokeswoman responded in a statement.
Your
The language that follows.
Your Honor, again, she can't
Magic
read it. She
hour.
has to show it
The
to
language
her.
that follows.
All right. If you want to lay a
Is this-
foundation to that, go ahead.
You released a statement after Mr. Depp donated $100,000 to the ACLU and $100,000 to CHLA. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And the language that follows is the statement you released in response to Mr. Depp's donations, right?
I don't know if this is the official statement. I have no idea.
The statement that starts
Objection, Your Honor.
at Amber Heard. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Would you please read that to yourself, Ms. Heard?
Amber Heard's lawyer is not a fan of this. Not a fan one bit.
Yes.
Did you read all the way to the very bottom where the last word is supported?
Did you really read it, is what she's saying. Thanks, Dribbly Bob, for the Twitch Prime subscription.
Yes.
Okay. That's a statement you released through your spokeswoman after Mr. Depp made the donations to the CHLA and the ACLU. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I do not recall exactly what my statement was. I don't disagree with anything in the statement, but I just simply don't recall what the statement was we released.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
Okay. I'm going to move to admit.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I'll overrule the objection. 1260 in evidence.
It's in.
Thank you, Your Honor. The statement reads, Amber Heard appreciates Johnny Depp's novel interest in supporting two of her favorite charities, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union for Domestic Violence, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. This is great and unexpected news. And it continues. However, if Johnny wishes to change the settlement agreement, we must insist that he honor the full amount by donating $14 million to charity, which, after accounting for his tax deduction, is equal to his $7 million payment obligation to Amber. And it continues. We would also insist that the full amount be paid immediately and not drawn out over many years. Anything less would be a transparent attempt by Johnny's counsel, Laura Wasser and Patty Glazer, to reduce their client's true payment by half under the guise of newfound concern for charities that he has never previously supported, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you. After this, you kept commenting about the donation of your divorce settlement, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had. I believe I said I donated it to charity, but it was already printed or already commented on and stated in the press. I had already released that information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on that show.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program. And we would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for permission to publish it.
It contains, it has hearsay, it contains other communications with other individuals.
Your Honor, if we may approach very briefly.
Wow. They're going to make it difficult, that's for sure.
David, I'm confused about this idea that a woman can be convicted for murder if she has, like, an abortion or whatever. Couldn't you convict the fetus, because it's a full person, for, like, attempted murder or something like that?
If the fetus jeopardizes the life of the mother, could you charge the fetus with attempted murder on the basis of the I mean, like this, I hope you guys understand, this is all under the crazy right-wing idea on this stuff. Could you charge the fetus? I mean, if you could, and it's a state with the death penalty, there's no intent. Fair. That's fair. There's no intent. Thanks to 222 Damo for the Twitch Prime subscription. That's number 36. Also, thanks to Dribbly Bob and Deranged Socialite for the additional gifts and subs. I very much appreciate that. It'd be involuntary manslaughter, I guess, is what we're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you create an insane framework, it leads to crazy questions, for sure. Speaking of which, I have something on this from the Texas rally that we were at. Check this out. It actually is about exactly this.
So, big news, Roe v. Wade. Looks like it's going to be overturned.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that?
So, no, that's great. That was horrible ruling in the first place, and all they've done is muddy it up since then. So I think it's about time.
Okay. And then, in your ideal country, what would the rules/laws be on people getting abortions?
Everybody has the right to life. Life starts at conception. It's science. This is a human life. Okay? We should protect life, always.
And the punishment if you got an abortion?
Ideally. What do you think? When you take a life, an innocent life, should be murder.
It should be murder. You didn't say you should be murdered? Like, should the person get death penalty? Yes?
If we could please
You think people should get the death penalty?
publish to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit 346.
You can see where that's going.
All right, 346 in evidence.
Very
there
scary.
actually were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce.
What the heck? What just happened? Should we try switching over here?
346 in evidence.
There actually were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this, and then there was a divorce settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money, but then you did something that twisted that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform.
Right.
And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never heard
I wanted
of.
nothing.
Okay, let's maybe go back over here.
Without knowing when it was recorded, I have no idea.
The $7 million divorce settlement was paid to you in full by February of 2018, right?
That's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendants Exhibit 1458, which is already in evidence. This is the deal point memorandum from your divorce settlement, right, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
And if we go down to the bottom of page 4, there's a heading labeled equalization payment. Do you see that?
Yes.
And underneath.
Why do we keep losing audio here? It's very weird. That's on their end, just for everybody to know. That's not anything we're having over here. Should we just abandon and stick here? Let's see.
Equalization payment. Do you see that?
Yes.
And underneath that, it outlines a payment schedule for the divorce payments, correct?
Yes.
Well, it begins to. And if we go on page 5, so the first payment is scheduled for August 31st, 2016, and that's $200,000, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made that payment directly.
You got to turn on your microphone, Ms. Berderhoff. I'm not going to hear you.
Objection to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. That.
Okay.
He literally testified to it in court.
I'll overrule objection. Go
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made the payment directly to the ACLU and CHLA, correct?
I believe so, yes.
And then the rest of the payments were all made to you, weren't they?
That is correct.
And the final payment of $2.3 million is on February 1st, 2018, right?
The final payment, yes.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. It's
Overrule the
improper.
objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule, right?
I don't believe they were. He might have
That's
testified
not my
to
question, Ms. Heard. My question was, you were here in court when Mr. White testified under oath that all the payments were made on schedule.
I was here every day in court. I heard his testimony, yes.
Okay. So back to October of 2018, this was before Mr. Depp sued you for defamation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
And the op-ed came out in December of 2018.
That is correct.
So in October of 2018, you had received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You would agree with me?
That is correct.
And you hadn't yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is October, correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms.
settlement,
Heard,
$7 million to charity, and I intend to fulfill those obligations.
Oh, I intend.
That's not my question.
Uh-oh.
Please,
What was
try
your
to answer
question?
my question. Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous.
Oh,
with one
no.
another. They
But
know
I don't.
something.
Ms.
Guys,
Heard,
if this show was based on the pledges we've received rather than the money, you should see what our studio would look like.
that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as of today, you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's because you did want something, didn't you?
I didn't want anything and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny, that's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for donating the money, right?
That's incorrect.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest. My interest is in my name and clearing my name, and at the time I was being called a liar and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable. They were
You wanted
believable.
them to be seen, you wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence,
I
didn't
have
you?
never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I
You-
ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No.
Pledged.
Ms. Heard, my questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to move to strike everything after yes.
All right.
No. Ms. Hurt, this is really inappropriate.
I'll sustain the objection and we'll just move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. Next question.
Under oath, that statement wasn't true, was it, Ms. Hurd?
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question. Sorry.
Did you lie?
You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote. That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety to charity.
Oh, man.
Statement.
When you say you buy a house, you don't pay for
Ms.
the
Hurd,
entire
Ms.
house
Hurd,
at one time.
respectfully.
Yes. Yes, you do. The mortgage company pays it.
Thank you. That statement isn't true today.
You don't buy
As you
it
sit
till
here
all the
today,
money's
is it?
there.
It is true. I pledged the entirety.
But
to
you didn't
charity.
donate it.
Unfortunately,
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those
So that's a no,
obligations.
right, Ms. Hurd?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
You had
so the
all of the
statement was a
$7
lie.
million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to. Is that correct, Ms.
I
Hurd?
disagree with your characterization of that.
Let's look at your sworn testimony from the UK.
Dear God. I didn't think the cross-examination was going that well, but this is pretty bad because the entire jury has to realize that it's a lie to say I donated it all when she pledged it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dribbly
Ms.
Bob,
Vasquez,
for
do you want me
gifting
to
5 more
close the
subs on
shades?
Twitch.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
There's this light coming across them.
So I appreciate that.
Has to be a
It's
little
probably good
uncomfortable.
light. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Oh, it looks like it was a reflection from the skylight off of the lectern. That's a crazy angle, huh? Or maybe it's not.
This is your third witness statement that you submitted in the UK action, right, Ms. Hurd?
Correct.
And this statement was made under oath, true?
That is true.
I'm directing your attention to the last page of that statement. That's your signature, right?
Yes, it is.
So you made this sworn statement on February 26, 2020.
That's correct.
And directing your attention to paragraph 4. It says, quote, I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together, and the entire amount of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The him you were referring to is Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
Most of the money that was donated to the ACLU and CHLA in your name came from someone else. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by most of.
Well, at least $500,000 that was donated to the ACLU in your name wasn't paid by you, right?
I believe Elon made a donation in my honor on one of the years.
Yeah, and it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement, right?
No, nor did it count towards my pledge.
And at least $500,000 that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in your name wasn't paid by you either.
Right, those were made at the same time.
And it didn't come out of your $7 million divorce settlement.
Nor did it count to my 3
Let's switch over here.
Because you wanted to keep at least some of the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
Hold on a second. I apologize for this.
Appreciate your patience and in your taking.
Oh, it looks like it's
Of
over.
the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
You're very wrong about that.
I think this, if Your Honor's
Okay,
fine,
you said
this is a good
this
stopping
breaking
point.
point. Okay, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop here for the evening. Remember tonight, do not do any outside research and do not discuss the case with anybody. I know these days are a little longer, and I appreciate your patience and in your taking care of everything here. Please take care of yourself tonight, okay? And we'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m.
All right, so this last bit to me as a layperson doesn't seem like it was great for Amber Heard. At this point, it's very clear that she said, I'm going to donate it. It wasn't all donated. She did make multiple statements saying, I did donate it all. Now she's saying pledge and donate are the same thing. Pledge is a promise. A pledge is a promise. A pledge is a promise. It's not a donation. We've received many pledges here on the program. I've had people say, David, I'm going to pledge. We had a great situation where someone said, hey, I run a family trust and we have to donate the interest every year. And I'm going to make a pledge so that we're going to do, I forget what amount it was every year to the David Pakman Show. They pledged it. We didn't see any of it. They disappeared. Imagine if they said, no, we donated it. Well, but did you transfer the money? No, but I pledged it. No. I think we understand that doesn't make any sense. So that is going to be the end for today. We will be back tomorrow with the live results of the Pennsylvania Senate race, which is a major, major, major race. Make sure you're following on Twitch. Make sure you are subscribed free on YouTube, and make sure you've liked on Facebook. We'll be live on all 3 platforms tomorrow. And keep your machines safe, my friends.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Absolutely. We'll see everybody tomorrow.